My ship be on point, man, you know it's bomb. Welcome to the show. I'm puffin' on the big fat green bud blind. I bet you notice what a fine sight to see. I bet you don't wanna pick fight with me. You know I stay low key, steadily stacking money. You know I got police, they always coming for me. Welcome to the show. And all the time it's like, oh shit, bitch, now what the fuck is this shit? Smoking, choking, toking on a green spliff. I don't care. I don't care. Cruising my bunny like everywhere, and I will never be royal. Royal. Popping and waving and not a love. The kind of loving just ain't for me. Bitches, they call me Kilo G. Let me be your ruler. Ruler. Hail to the fucking king. Baby, I'll move to let you live in that fantasy. Whoa, whoa, whoa. But welcome to the show. My shit be on point, man, you know it's bomb. All right, let's get it started. Big Daddy Show, Phase 5, baby. We ain't fucking around no more. We taking no fucking prisoners. That's right. Yes. All right. What are we going to talk about tonight? Good Art Bill in the chat. Nice. It's always good when Art Bill is capable of catching a show live. Yeah, I know EVS said he watches my show on the farms, but well, I don't know if he watches this one, my new channel. Yeah, we ain't taking no prisoners. We're not fucking around anymore. We cut loose the dead weight. It's beneath Big Daddy. It takes away from my agency to have a channel where I talk about a lot of CG bullshit. If we talk about CG stuff, it's going to be later on in the show. Tune on later in the show if you want to hear the CG stuff. We're going to talk about some real world issues. I'd rather go after Klaus Schwab and his cronies than Von Scroats and his little wolf pack, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Big Daddy, I'm still alive, bitch. I'm still alive. I ain't dropped dead from no fucking no itis. You can fucking guarantee that much. Oh yes. Big Daddy ain't never gonna drop dead from an itis. Yep. Big Daddy. We're back, baby. Feels good to be back on the show. This show. Yes, on this channel. Feels good to be back, baby. Yep. Big Daddy, he ain't never gonna drop dead from an itis. Big Daddy, he ain't never gonna bend the knee to a feminist. And Big Daddy, he ain't never gonna mince his words for any leftists. Yeah, weak men, they will say, I will not risk offending the left. And Big Daddy says, the left is already offended, whether you would risk it or not. You're never gonna catch me wearing a fucking mask or taking the jab. You wanna know why? Cause I'm a motherfucker that's built to last. Fuck with me, I put a foot in that ass. I'ma holler out cause I keep belling. Yo, tell them what they yelling. Gangster, gangster, gangster. It's not about a salary. It's all about reality. Gangster, gangster, gangster. Gangster. I see shit coming before it comes. Before I go to war, I count my ones. Gangster, gangster, gangster. Read between the lines of what I'm fucking saying. Gangster, gangster, gangster. I see shit coming before it comes. Before I go to war, I count my ones. Read between the lines of what I'm fucking saying. It's not about a salary. It's all about reality. Gangster, gangster, gangster. Gangster, gangster. 'Cause I'm a motherfucker that's built to last. 'Cause I'm a motherfucker that's built to last. 'Cause I'm a motherfucker that's built to last. Fuck with me, I put a foot in that ass. If you know what I mean. Big Daddy Show, we're back, bitches, we're back. We're taking no prisoner. Anybody unfamiliar with the show, I'm Big Daddy. I'm one man. I rip the mic, and I give the distilled essence of all the greatness that was late night from the 90s. That's what I do. It's like Weekend Update with Norm Macdonald, crossed with a good HBO comedy special, crossed with like a good episode of Art Bell, like a Frank Sinatra style lounge act thrown in there. If I could distill it into its most purest essence, that's basically what it is. Big Daddy Show. All right. I usually start off the show with a little current event stuff. What's going on in the world today? It's the Chinese New Year, Year of the Rabbit. Yeah, Chinese New Year. Yeah, here China, they're having little problems, I hear. You know, I talk, anybody familiar with Big Daddy Show, Big Daddy Lore knows that I speak at length about China and how basically they're playing the art of war perfectly. And that the way you play the art of war perfectly is that you defeat your opponent without firing a single fucking shot. And that's what they're doing. They're using, well, they're buying everything up. We're just going to wake up one day and find out that they're our landlords, that they own us. Yeah, I think I might have overestimated the Chinese. I've been doing a little bit more study into the matter, and it turns out China's one-child policy, it fucked them over like way worse than I originally anticipated. Yeah, for a multitude of reasons. You see, China is at the point where they're going to have more old people than they have young people to take care of those old people, if you know what I mean. It's kind of like in America when the car companies went under because they had to pay out more money in pensions to their retired people than they had money coming in to the company, basically. Like China is going to be looking at a situation like that, all because the one-child policy fucked them over so badly. Yeah, what they needed was a bunch of young people to take care of the old generation. And one of the unanticipated consequences of modeling your country after America is that China has actually taken up a lot of feminist ideology. Yeah, whether people understand it or not, feminism just ravaged that fucking country. Like in the same way that nobody are really having families in America anymore, it's the same way in China. Like here, recently, they actually lifted the one-child policy to where people could have 2 children. But they noticed that nobody was having kids still. So then here, I think it was last year, they allowed it to where families can have 3 children now. You believe that? Yeah, but I guess I just heard a statistic that India has overtaken China as the #1 as far as population goes. Yeah. Yeah, China, I think they might have overplayed their hand. However, never underestimate these fuckers. I've seen the video of that I forget what it was called, Eco something. A lot of people did EFAPs on this shit a few weeks back about the artificial womb technology. Like China, they'll pull the trigger on that. Like if their population doesn't start producing more children, more families to, you know, to be able to tax so they can take care of their older population, and they're just simply going to fucking breed them in goddamn artificial wombs is what they're going to do. They have no qualms about that shit. We're dealing with like true transhumanists in the Chinese. Yeah, the only question is, will the American people wake up and realize the fucking real threats of the world? It's not the fucking Russians or whatever, like the media wants you to believe. Like never trust the media, darling, and always be wary of who the media paints as the bad guys, if you know what I mean. Yeah, speaking of bad guys in the media, like I guess the WEF, the World Economic Forum, they had a meeting over there in Davos, Switzerland recently, and only high level media was allowed in there, like the CNNs and the BBCs of the world, Like a guy like Big Daddy, if I went there with a camera on the ground, no, I wouldn't have been let in there. Oh, hell no. They'll let the hookers in there, though. I guess the call girls have been doing a lot of good business. Yeah, they've been flying in there and fucking making a lot of money, I guess. Yeah, Davos, the World Economic Forum meeting. Yeah, they're all gathered together, condensed in one spot. Yeah, it's a shame we have things written into our Constitution about taking out world leaders. It's like, they're all condensed in one area. Hey, kids, can you say Daisy Cutter Missile? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. If only Big Daddy was running the show. If only Big Daddy was running the show. Fuck. The world would be a safer place. Let's put it that way. Yeah, gather all together in one area. You fucking pieces of shit. Make a very, very soft target, if you know what I mean. What about the collateral damage? I think I'll be able to live with it. Get rid of Klaus Schwab and his fucking associates? Yeah, I can live with the collateral damage. They fucking came out recently and endorsed pedophilia, for fuck's sake. They fucking endorsed pedophilia. I mean, these fucking people make James Bond villains look like Sesame Street characters. Yeah. Fucking just let fly with every fucking cruise missile in the fucking arsenal. That's what I say. Yeah, if only Big Daddy was running the show. The WEF. Yep. Well, the adrenochrome dealers are going to be making a lot of money this weekend. Oh, a lot of mercy. Yeah, the one thing that the WEF people were pushing, was the Great Reset, all that fucking shit. Anybody knows what the Great Reset is all about? Well, in order to implement it, you had to first go through with, the lockdowns, all that fucking shit, and then come to find out, all sorts of information is coming out about just how dangerous the fucking coof jab truly is. And you can't talk about how dangerous the coof jab is. No, the people that are just dropping dead from heart attacks and various itises or whatever, it's all that's a mystery. That's now a mystery. Like we don't know what that is. It's certainly not the coof jab, though. Oh no, no. Oh hell no. That's very very safe. Even though like the fucking CDC itself is like come out and talking about how dangerous this shit is. Yikes! I have to use coded language for fuck's sake when I'm talking about it. I've had my channels struck so many times. Fuck. Yeah. Yeah, people dropping dead all over the place. Got the itises. Fucking Elon Musk. Elon Musk of all people. Not only did he get the jab, but he got a booster. He got a fucking booster. And he talked about how when he got his booster, that he felt like he was dying. That's what he said. Like he was fucked up for several days. And who knows what he might catch later on down the road? I mean, what would happen if Elon Musk, the man who's responsible for all these great innovations that we got going on, trying to save free speech by buying up Twitter, what if Elon Musk were to drop dead from the itis all of a sudden like that? Like what would people do? Like what would happen? If I were to die murdered in cold blood tomorrow, would you feel sorrow or show love or would it matter? Could never be the leader of a battle of things shit for me to Peter off and seesaw battling, but this way too much at stake for me to be fake. It's too much on my plate. All right. Yeah. Goof jab. Causing all sorts of itises. People just dropping dead. You can't talk about it though. You can't talk about it. Nope. Yeah, I hear I don't hear it, I see it. I've been seeing it a lot lately. Like a new tactic of the left. It's a new tactic that they're doing to to shame people out of calling out the coof jab when it causes people to die, when it causes the itises. Like if people like me try to point it out and talk about it and call it out, like we're shamed out of doing it. Like that's what the left is doing now. They're trying to shame people out of calling out how dangerous this shit is. Like, oh, you just love it when this happens. You're morbid, Big Daddy. I bet you went and looked through his Twitter timeline too, didn't you? Like, no, I don't have to do that. People can do that for you. Like just like that Uche Naware clown from the Fandom Menace, that ex-Panther player. It was all, you know, he was like militant pro fucking jab. Motherfucker, keeled over, dropped dead because of the shit too. And he was one of those people that wanted to throw people in jail if they didn't take that shit. People didn't pump their fucking body full of poison. Like you were to be thrown in jail. That's what that guy wanted. And now he just dropped dead. A little ironic. Like rain on your wedding day, free ride when you've already paid. Yep, free ride into the afterlife, Uche. What? Slap your nuts on the table. Oh, ass cracker. Yeah. Like, Big Daddy, I trust the science. Like, what science? What science? What the doctors say? Oh, what doctor? Fucking doctor? Like, I don't trust doctors. Someone with an undeserved god complex who's fucking bought and paid for by Big Pharma. No, I'm Big Daddy, motherfucker. I have the most powerful information gathering tool ever created by man at my fingertips in the form of the internet. I trust myself. Yes, I trust whatever research I can do over whatever fucking science you can spout at me, whatever. You trust the science. I trust Big Daddy. Yeah, people ask me, what, you think the coof jab is so dangerous? What's your source, Big Daddy? What's your source? I am the source, motherfucker. I am the source. I'm in tune to the Akashic records. I am the source. That's what I'll say. Anybody fucking says that shit. Yeah, this is what you say to a leftist. Anytime a leftist starts crowing about your sources, what's your source? What's your source? I am the source. Straight from the Akashic records, motherfucker. I am the source. Yeah, that's what you tell those motherfuckers. I am the source. No, but seriously though, if you have the most powerful information gathering tool ever created by man at your fingertips, like anybody asks you about your source, you just fucking boot them right in their fucking face. Yeah. What can you do though? Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. If you speak a little too boldly about it and articulate it a little too clearly, they'll strike you. I gotta say coof jab. And just pray to Christ I ain't got some fucking like really fucking militant leftist listening to me that'll fucking, you know, flag me or whatever, you know. That's what I gotta do. Yeah. Yeah, they're all about that authoritarianism being implemented through use of that damn coof. Wear your mask, bigot. Yeah, I heard that a woman was actually strangled to death by Toronto police over there in Canada, like in one of these hospitals. Like she had her mask down over her face a little bit, and a cop just grabbed her by the throat, strangled her to death. Jesus Christ! At least they didn't trample her. At least they didn't trample her with a fucking horse afterwards. That's Canada for you. The cop was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you wanted the maid service, maid, MAID. I forget what it stands for exactly, but you know, they've sanctioned suicide in Canada, for fuck's sake. They've sanctioned suicide. You feel depressed? Oh, rather than you know, get mental help, therapy, drugs, maybe a little pot. No, get the rope. Get the rope. Hangman, hangman, turn your head a while. You can see my friends are coming, riding for many miles. Your friends ain't coming. No. Friends are a weakness. Men who have ascended to my level understand this and realize it. Friends are a weakness. A friend will stab you in the back quicker than a fucking total stranger will most of the time. Allies. There is strength in allies. People who will go to war with you, who will die for you, jump in front of a bullet for you. That's one of the bad things about the left. They kind of ruin words. And one of the words they ruined is the word ally. Like they fucking ruined that word. Yep. The left? What can you do? Yeah, Big Daddy, I will lampoon the left. I will make fun of a leftist. I will talk shit about Democrats. That's what I will do. It's one of the taboo things in comedy, too. Like anybody who knows about comedy knows that it's taboo to do jokes about Democrats, about the left, about anything left wing. You just don't do it. And the reason why is well, at the end of the day, people in comedy, it's a business, is what it is. It's a business. They want to make money doing it. And you can make jokes about Republicans. You can make jokes about people on the right, and they will still listen to you afterwards. They'll still buy your comedy albums. They'll still support you. If you make one joke about a leftist, like you will literally lose that person for life. They will get up and literally walk out on the fucking walk out on you on a comedy act, and they will never listen to you again, and they will seethe with hatred anytime they hear your name ever again. This is why there's an unwritten rule in comedy: you don't make fun of the left, because they take their politics so seriously. They take it more seriously than a religious zealot takes their fucking religion. This is the thing about the left and left-wing politics. The power it holds over people, it's more powerful than the hold religion itself holds over people. It's more powerful than family. It's more powerful than love itself. It's one of the most evil, wicked, demonic things I've ever seen. Like literally, a leftist will sever all ties with their family if they find out like their family are conservative or they vote Trump or something like that. This is the level of weird, like evil and wickedness that we have in the soul of a leftist. They turn their politics into their religion. That's what it is. And their religion, their politics, it's more powerful than people's beliefs in God. That's reality. These people are fucking dangerous. Like I said, they just met here in Davos, Switzerland, and they came out on the record and endorsed pedophilia, for fuck's sake. These people make Bond villains look like Sesame Street characters. That's reality. That's fucking reality. And that's the bottom line, because Big Daddy said so. Yep. We're bringing the Attitude Era back to this bitch. Sipping on a little lemonade tonight. Good lemonade is to be sipped on. Oh, yeah. Yeah. A lot of people are saying, Big Daddy, you just sound like you're one of these guys that just likes complaining about shit. I don't complain about shit all the time. I've got solutions to some shit. Actually, I've got solutions to most things, but my solutions are a little bit extreme. But I do have solutions to some things in life. Like the homeless problem, for instance. Anybody who's familiar with the state of California knows that they have a very, very bad homeless problem. Especially there in the cities, like the Bay Area, Los Angeles, stuff like that. Any sort of large metropolitan area in California is going to have a really, really bad homeless problem. And one of the things to tackling the homeless problem is, well, we got to find them homes, Big Daddy. We got to find the homeless homes. We can't have them living on the streets, living in cardboard boxes and alleys and tents, living under freeways. We got to have them in homes. And a lot of these politicians, they don't know what to do with these people. They'll put them up in hotels and shit like that. Hotels? Putting homeless people up in hotels? Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah. It sometimes you gotta streamline the thinking a little bit. Sometimes you gotta streamline the thinking. Keep it simple. So you don't overthink this. I know what to do with the homeless. I know how to fix the homeless problem. Well, at least I know how to put them in homes, or at least I know how to put roofs over their heads. Let's put it that way. I know how to put a roof over their heads. Now, anybody knows one of the side effects of this new capitalistic age is that we've got a lot of online shopping now. Amazon is like overtaken the fucking industry as far as most all things go. You know, if you want something, you can order it on Amazon and it can be brought to your fucking doorstep. You no longer have to go shop anywhere. You no longer have to go to the shopping mall and do your shopping. You can get all of your stuff on Amazon. Now, with the advent of online shopping, along with a host of other social issues, we see shopping malls all over the country closing. Like they're called ghost malls. Literally, you go into these massive shopping malls. It's literally like Dawn of the Dead. The mall's just empty, dead as fuck. I think you see where I'm going with this. We take the homeless and we move them into the shopping malls. That's what we do. That's how, boom, fixed it. Homeless problem fixed. There you go. You move the homeless into the derelict shopping malls. There. Step one. You got roofs over their heads. Like, but Big Daddy, all they're going to do is just turn it into a fucking den of iniquity. They're going to have orgies, going to shoot up drugs. This might make things worse. It might. But there could be certain members within these homeless communities that rise up and, form, communities, actually. As long as they have a roof over their head, maybe they can act like civilized people. Who knows? Nah. But for real though, if they actually did that and then they sent social workers in there to help with them and shit, maybe you could rehabilitate the homeless to get them back out into society. Or that could exacerbate the problem. People hear about, hey, if I just want to just divorce myself from society, I can just go move into one of these derelict shopping malls with all the other hobos and just, live the lap of luxury, if you know what I mean. You'd have to root around in dumpsters for food and all that, but hell, there are certain places you go behind the dumpsters, they're throwing out fresh food all the time. Like, if you know what you're doing, you can life hack it. From what I hear, I mean, I live out in the country. I mean, I could never imagine myself living in a city being a fucking homeless bum. No, I'd rather live out in the country off the fucking fat of the land, if you know what I mean. It's just Big Daddy. Because I'm a motherfucker that's built to last. You fuck with me, I put a foot in that ass. I'm a holler out because I keep yelling. Oh, tell them what they're yelling. All right. What else is going on out there in the world today? Yeah, here Madonna has been accused of child trafficking in Africa. Yeah, adrenochrome is a hell of a drug. But seriously though, I guess I think it's Malawi. The Malawi government is accused her of child trafficking. Yeah, apparently, she set up all sorts of schools there and shit, and she's adopted a bunch of kids. Sounds like some shady shit going on. That's Madonna for you, though. One of those celebrities, all into that fucking black magic shit, if you know what I mean. Yeah, Madonna. Imagine being a, it's bad enough being raised by a single mother, but just imagine Madonna is your single mother. Jesus Christ, you're gonna be raised fucked up. I hear one of those male children she adopted is like wearing a dress too. Like, why do they always do that? These fucking sick celebrities, these Moloch worshipping pieces of fucking filth, adopt children from Africa, male children, and then they make them troon out. I mean, that's so sick and evil. Hey, that's liberalism for you, though. That's liberalism, Big Daddy. There's nothing evil about it. No, it's Luciferianism, is what it is. Liberalism is nothing more than a churched up form of Luciferianism. Anybody knows this. both built upon the same foundation, a mountain of dead baby fetuses. Luciferians are all about child sacrifice. Leftists, they're all about abortion. At the end of the day, what's the real difference? You look at the Book of Enoch, one of the fallen angels was named Casdasia. It taught mankind the power of sacrificing their children in the womb. This is demonic shit, is what it is. Yeah, but just as there is black magic, so too is there white magic. Yeah, white magic is a totally different thing than black magic. Black magic, more often than not, involves something evil, wicked going on, a sacrifice of some sort. White magic is simply just manifesting your will into reality. I spoke last week about how I read a book called As a Man Thinketh. I read it when I was young, and I put those principles into philosophies, into teachings, and or into practice. I put those teachings into practice that I learned from the book As a Man Thinketh, and I was able to manifest my own reality. And I was able to not just manifest my reality, but manifest my most ideal reality, if you know what I mean. So in a way, you could say Big Daddy is actually a white wizard. The most powerful form of white magic is manifesting your will into reality. Yeah, there's a certain Eastern philosophy called Taoism. D-A-O. There's also Tao, spelled with a T. Taoism. It talks about the types of things I was talking about, manifesting your reality with your thoughts. Taoist magic. Yeah, Taoist magic, white magic versus black magic. I'll always go with the white magic. If you're going to practice any forms of magic, that's the way to do it. Yeah, at the end of the day, it's all about positive thinking, living your life by golden rule principles, doing unto others as they would have done unto you. That's what it's all about. Yep. Another principle of Taoism is simplicity. There's a certain elegance and simplicity, and living at one with nature, and just going with the flow of things, if you know what I mean. The universe is like a river flowing, and rather than clinging to the side of the bank like a piece of grass with roots, you just go into the river and just let yourself flow. Let it take you and see where it goes. And always stay on the sunny side. Manifest a positive reality, if you know what I mean. Yep. Yeah, we're about reaching the halfway point. I guess we're gonna take a break and we're gonna come back and I'll take a look at the chat. We'll go on to the next half of the show. Maybe we'll take a guest if I see anybody in the back room. Anybody unfamiliar with the Big Daddy Show knows that this is an open line show. The StreamYard's link is in the description. And if you've got anything important to say, or if you got maybe a paranormal story or something like that, or even if you're musically inclined and you can play a good original tune or a good original version of a good cover, then you can click that StreamYard's link in the description and pop on. I'm always looking for leftists that are capable of defending the pregnant man argument too. Like there are certain parts of leftist dogma and leftist beliefs and teachings that simply cannot be defended. Like, and I want to force these fuckers to defend it. And one of the things that you simply cannot defend is the pregnant man argument. I dare any leftist out there listening to the show to defend the pregnant man argument. What exactly does that mean to be a pregnant man? Defend that shit. Yeah, there are some things you just simply cannot defend. Yeah, but we'll take a little break. We'll come back, and then we'll transition to some more lighthearted topics, if you know what I mean. Yep. We'll throw on tune, and then we'll come back. Yeah, in this day and age, you see that the times, they are a-changing. But with these changing times, if you listen real closely, you can hear the chimes of freedom flashing. Far between sundown's finished and midnight's broken toll, ducked inside the doorway's thunder went crashing. Its majestic bellows of bolts struck shadows in the sounds, seeming to be chimes of freedom flashing. Flashing for the warriors, strength is not to fight. Flashing for the refugees, the unarmed road of light. And for each and every underdog soldier in the night, he gazed upon the chimes of freedom flashing. The city's melted furnace, unexpectedly we watched, faces hidden as the walls were tightening. As the echo of the wedding bells before the blowing rain dissolved into the bells of the lightning, tolling for the rebel, tolling for the rake, tolling for the luckless, the abandoned and forsake, tolling for the outcast, burning constantly at stake. As we gazed upon the chimes of freedom flashing, flashing for the warriors, strength is not to fight. Flashing for the refugees, gone on the road of light. For each and every underdog soldier in the night, we gazed upon chimes of freedom flashing. Gather round, people, wherever you roam, and admit that the waters around you have grown, and accept it that soon be drenched to the bone. Your time to you is worth saving. Better start swimming or you sink like a stone. Times they are a-changing. Writers and critics prophesize with your pen. Keep your eyes wide, the chance won't come again. And don't speak too soon, for the wheel's still in spin. There's no telling who that it's naming, for the losers now will be later to win. For the times they are a-changing. The mothers and fathers throughout the land, and don't criticize what you can't understand. Your sons and your daughters beyond your command. Your old road is rapidly aging. Get out of the new one if you can't lend your hand. Times they are a-changin'. Line it is drawn, the curtain it is cast. The slow one now will later be fast, as the present now will later be past. The order is rapidly fading. The first one now will later be last. Times they are a-changin'. Changing for the warrior, strength is not to fight. Changing for the refugee on the unarmed road of flight. For each and every underdog soldier in the night. For the times they are a-changin'. For the times they are a-changin'. Indeed, the times are a-changin'. I hope you're ready for the next episode. All right. We reached the halfway point. Usually we transition away from the serious topics and start talking about more lighthearted stuff. Let's see what's going on with that. Yeah, I need to look up some Elvis songs. I gotta cover some Elvis songs one of these days. It's been a while since I straight up drank a 40. Normally, when I drink the malt liquor, I get them in the tall boys. Yeah, I ain't seen old Steel Worldwide in a fucking healthy minute. Or if that guy's still kicking, or if he's fucking keeled over from the fucking liver cancer yet. His fucking pancreas explode on him. Yeah, I doubt EVS is watching, unless I put his name in the tags or something, and he's YouTubing his name, and he sees a Big Daddy show. He's like, oh, maybe a Big Daddy's talking about me, and he clicks on it. Nerdette. Yeah, the funny part is I had seen her mugshot, and I kind of teased her about it in her chat one time when she was doing the Ya Boy Zach stream, and she actually does look like Ya Boy Zach's date. Look at her mugshot without her makeup on. She looks exactly like Ya Boy Zach's date, the bitch that slurps the cum. Yeah, E-Thought's gonna E-Thought. I mean, obviously she's not gonna find as many simps if she shows what she truly looks like. Yeah. Nerdette, she's one of those people that's like not even on my radar. First time I ever listened to her was when she did a Ya Boy Zach stream or whatever, and I had always heard about her notoriously grating voice or whatever. But what she sounded to me like was a bitch who was she was either drunk or she was high on pills or both. That's what she sounded like to me. That's your typical fucking thought that's daytime drinking or fucking had a couple of oxycontins. Yeah, like I said, it's been a while since I see Steel Worldwide. Big Daddy Show, I think it's a little too cerebral for a guy like Steel Worldwide. Yeah, the fucking coof needs fucking backs against me. Yeah. Yeah, I remember those Chinese videos about all those fucking people just all of a sudden keeling over in the streets, fucking dead. being carted away in body bags, just body bags everywhere. It's like a zombie apocalypse movie. Yeah, that was orchestrated, definitely. It definitely did not come from a lab in Wuhan. Definitely didn't. It definitely didn't. Yeah, there's a thing about Asian people though. I remember my boss told me one time, like my Jewish boss, super Saiyan Jew, this guy. Yeah, the only time he ever came around the company was to talk about his trips that he would take around the world. Like he'd use the company dollar and just take trips, just gallivant all around the world. And this guy, he's been everywhere. He's got stories. And one thing he said, like there's a huge difference between Asians and Americans, and not just Asians and Americans, just Americans and the rest of the world in general. But the difference is especially profound with Asians. And the difference between Americans and Asians he tried to illustrate is like an Asian, literally, they can get a paper cut and they can die from a paper cut. Like this is how frail Asians are. Like they can get a paper cut and all of a sudden catch malaria and just keel over dead. Like that's basically how it is in those third world nations. Like it's a whole different ball game as far as if they get sick with something than it is with an American. Like in those third world countries or in any Asian country, especially, if they get sick, literally it can kill them. Like no joke. Like they're not made of the same fiber as an American, if you know what I mean. He says an American, like you could literally take a 2x4 to an American metaphorically and you can't hurt them. But an Asian can literally die from a paper cut. Now, what happened was after this coof nonsense spread across the planet, what happened was Americans were held to the same standard as normal people, and this should not have happened. Americans should never ever be held to the same standards as Asians, especially Chinese people. And what happened was when Americans were held to the same standard as normal people, well, we saw what happened. Yeah, the orchestrated destruction of the American economy, orchestrated destruction of small mom and pop businesses in favor of these large corporations. Yeah, Walmart and Target, they got to stay open. Mom and pop, they had to be closed down. Yep, it was orchestrated. Yep, make no mistake. Yep. It's not just Big Daddy. Americans, we are built to last. There's just something about Americans. We're just a little bit better than the rest of the world. I'm sorry if you're listening and you're from a different country. America is just a little bit better than you in many ways. But the people, where there's just something about the American people, the American spirit, if you know what I mean. Yeah, and when Americans were held to the same standards as the rest of the world, like that's where things got fucked up. It's like, no, we have much more stronger immune systems. We're stronger. We're made of stronger material. You can't hold an American to the same standard as the rest of the world. Yep. Simple as that. We're just a little bit better. Harder, better, faster, stronger. Harder, better, faster, stronger, harder, better, faster, stronger. It's just simply the way it is. It's a simple statement of reality. Yeah, I saw that. That statistic actually was back in 2018, I believe. Yeah, another statistic back from 2018 I heard was that 23% of kids grow up in single mother households in America. That's the highest percentage of all of the countries on planet Earth. Number two is the UK at 21%. Russia is actually number three at 18%. Yeah, the global average is only 6.8%. At this point, the family unit is going to be completely erased. It's just going to be a bunch of Chad spawn and Tyrone spawn being raised by these fucking single mothers. The future of the Earth lies in the hands of the Chad spawn. Will they end up in jail? Will they end up bitch-made betas? Will they end up trans? Or will they take the bull by the horns and become true Generation Alpha? We'll see. Yeah, anybody who's done the analytics on the whole thing knows the ones who hold the gates to the keys of hell, or no, the ones who hold, the ones who hold the keys to the gates of hell are actually the children of the millennials. These are the ones who are going to decide the fate of the planet. Yeah, the Zoomers, there's no hope for the Zoomers. Yeah, the only generation that's probably worse than the Boomers is probably Generation X. Boy, they fucked up when they raised the Zoomers. Jesus Christ. Yeah, it all rests upon the shoulders of the children of the millennials. How will they handle the future? Let's just hope they don't follow in the footsteps of the Zoomers. Yeah, in this day and age, a man in the West ought to have his fucking head examined if he marries a fucking English-speaking woman. Like if English is her primary language, there's a good chance she's no damn good. You gotta go to one of those Southeast Asian countries that hasn't been ravaged by feminism, or find a Latina, or you can find a good leftover Chinese woman. Sometimes you can find a good one. Yeah, Germany is one of these countries too. There's a lot of countries out there that there's going to be more old people than there are young people supporting them with the tax system. And at that point, what's going to happen? Soylent Green. That's what's going to happen. Soylent. Maybe that's one of the reasons why they implemented this coof jab, is to try to cull the elderly. Yeah. Trust the plan. Only 2 more weeks. I remember that shit. Al Gore. Now he's one of those politicians. If he decided to throw his hat into the arena, he might be one of the only dudes the Democrats have left that has any semblance of credibility or legitimacy that they could actually trot out there and run. I mean, to be honest, I'd rather have an Al Gore presidency than a Gavin Newsom presidency, because Gavin Newsom is going to be the next one they install into power. I guarantee you. Oh, Gates and Soros didn't go to Davos, huh? Well, there goes my my airstrike idea. Like, if you can't get Soros and Gates at the same time as Klaus Schwab, we got to wait for a better time then. Did JDA ever go on Tim Pool yet? If he did, I wonder how many times he had mentioned the word Comicsgate. Yeah, Anna needs to start her OnlyFans before she gets too deep into the wall. She's got to monetize those simps, max simp monetization, while she still has some semblance of her looks left. Because if she waits too long, she's gonna have to skip OnlyFans and go straight to Pornhub. Yeah, I wonder how production for ESOM #2 is going for old Eric July. I saw a tweet that he made talking about how, man, making an indie comic is hard, man. It's harder than you think, motherfucker. Whole ass cracker. Quit giving me shit. I can understand where he's coming from, though. I remember I started making a comic here a while back, and it's there's a lot more harder than I thought. And one of the biggest hurdles is artist management. That's one of the biggest hurdles I've come to deal with. Artists not hitting their deadlines, that kind of shit. Yeah, I remember Al Gore with that fucking movie of his. Weren't the fucking polar ice caps supposed to be melted by now, as far as his old movie goes? We're all supposed to be underwater, all that shit. Yep. Ender of Bloodlines, baby. Yeah, this channel will slowly grow, maybe. But no worries. Just one man ripping the mic. I'd do it if nobody listened. But those that are listening, the few, the proud, the Big Daddy Elite, all three of you, thanks for still sticking in there. Ah, yeah. Stogie relit. Yeah, I talked a little bit about my comic. Yeah, we're reaching towards the end, so to speak. Well, the end of the one shot. It's basically three different comics. It's like the Western colorized comic that's read from left to right. I've got a black and white manga, the same version that's read from right to left, and then I've got the same version that's chopped up a little bit and some scenes added to turn it into a one shot that I can submit to Shonen Jump. And the one shot is basically autonomous in its own separate universe to the regular series that's going on. And it's been kind of a roller coaster ride. Yeah, I didn't really understand it or get it till I saw the slap fight that Gabe LTI was having with Dave Williams here recently on Twitter. A couple of Comicsgate figures, and one of the things that was a friction and between the two was the writing about kids dying, some dead kids or whatever. Gabe didn't want the kids to die or whatever. He didn't show the fucking Dave Williams script. Like, had Gabe LTA come out and showed the Dave Williams script, it would have lent a lot more credibility to his claims. But he criticized Dave Williams for being able to draw Bass Reeves, a certain scene in Bass Reeves where a woman withers away and dies. And he was able to draw that scene at the same time his wife was dying of cancer, and he chastised him about that because he wanted Gabe to draw, dead kids in his book, and Gabe's son had just died or whatever, even though it happened like 16 years ago, I guess. So he showed pictures of his dead child on Twitter, dead baby hands gate. Yeah, it was a little bit of a controversy. But yeah, speaking of old Gabe LTA, I hear that Truth, Justice, and the American Way is under review with Indiegogo. We'll see what happens with that. They end up making him refund all of his backers and shit. Like, oh no, maybe Hillary Clinton and Elizabeth Warren can come save you, Gabe. You fucking cuck. Hmm. Yeah, but yeah, one of the problems I've had with the production of my comic is my artists not hitting deadlines. Like, I actually had to replace artists midway through. I had to pull a Jim Shooter. Be like, look, bro, you're not hitting your fucking deadlines. I'm gonna have to replace you. So luckily, I replaced him with a better artist. But my new artist, he's fucking not hitting his deadlines either, and now he's starting to tell me the same shit my old artist did. Like, he's about psychological problems and shit. Now this goes back to the Dave Williams, Gabe LTA thing. Now I didn't understand or realize it that when you draw this shit, like, I guess it affects you psychologically as an artist. Like, I thought that they could just separate themselves from the work and just, just do the work, but I guess they really get invested into that shit. And my comic tackles such serious fucking intense issues that it basically is like using up the soul energies of my artists, and it's like fucking I'm basically like using up my artists like fucking ammunition basically. Like now I need to replace my new artist because, well, he's not hitting his deadlines and he's having like psychological issues. He's having to go to therapy and shit now. Fuck. Yeah, this comic, I'm worried it's one of these cursed productions. But a lot of times these cursed productions they end up becoming something special in the end. Take Apocalypse Now, for instance. The film Apocalypse Now. You watch the old documentary Hearts of Darkness, and you'll see that was a cursed production and a half. Like, it almost killed fucking not just Coppola, but it almost killed Martin Sheen too. I think both of them had fucking heart attacks. Fucking Brando comes on the set, fucking just over 300 pounds. He's like fucking like way overweight. He hasn't even read the script. He doesn't know any of his fucking lines. He completely ad-libs it on the spot, but gives the performance of his fucking lifetime. Yeah, I remember watching Apocalypse Now, Redux, all of the cut scenes or whatever. I think the original was actually better. Is one of those cases where, like, yeah, I think you had it a little bit too much. Yeah, fucking Brando goes on set, fucking 100 pounds overweight, doesn't know any of his fucking lines, hasn't read the script, hasn't read the book Hearts of Darkness that it was based off of, but was still able to knock it out of the park. Yeah, that's what's going on in the world of Big Daddy. I'm at the end trying to knock out to the one shot, and then after that, I gotta get it translated into Japanese. Like after the last Tezuka award, they're not fucking around anymore. They're not taking foreign whatever. Like if you want to submit to them, you gotta submit the shit in Japanese. It's a long shot, but like I said, it's best to aim for the stars and miss. You might hit the moon somewhere in between. It's better do that than to aim for a pile of shit and actually hit it. If you know what I mean. Yep. Comicsgate. Yeah, I liken Comicsgate to The Simpsons. What happened with The Simpsons? Same thing that happened to Comicsgate. Like you look at the old school Simpsons way back in the day, like it had a run where it was actually pretty good. And then all of a sudden, something happened, and Simpsons went to shit. And people couldn't really put their finger on it. Everybody kind of instinctively knew, like Simpsons was dead. Like it just completely like declined in quality. Like every season got worse. Became known as Zombie Simpsons, what they call it. It's the same way with CG. In many ways, CG changed the same way The Simpsons changed, and it's hard to pinpoint exactly when it turned and how. But I think it could be explained best the same way The Simpsons turned. Now, what made The Simpsons fun and what made people like it was that it lampooned the mainstream. It was basically everything opposite of what the mainstream was. It fucking kicked the mainstream in the face and went against the fucking went against conventions, so to speak. And when Simpsons went to shit, when it died, is when it decided to go mainstream, if you know what I mean. Simpsons no longer was fighting the mainstream and lampooning it and making satire about it. No, The Simpsons went along and cucked out to mainstream and became nothing more than a mouthpiece for mainstream. Just a grotesque, bastardized version of the mainstream. They would have celebrity guests, Lady Gaga and shit like that. Just celebrity worship. You look at what happened with Comicsgate. It became a bastardized version of everything it pretended it was against. Celebrity worship. Now that's what it's about. Try to use this whole excuse of the culture war. We're fighting the SJWs. Like, no, you're just enriching the fucking pocketbooks of a small number of ex-industry professionals and their fucking cronies. That's what you're doing. Nobody's fighting anything over here. Fighting sleep. Watching one of their fucking live streams. That's the only thing you're fighting. That's truth. Now speak the truth. Make your peace some other way. Yeah. Simpsons and CG both became bastardized versions of everything that they ever pretended they were against. And thus, well, you see the state of it now. Anybody who still watches The Simpsons or anybody who still watches CG live streams or is paying attention, basically. Yeah, they're all about... I guarantee you, if the Boy Zach Stag film happened to one of the Roy brothers or any of their enemies, that shit, would they be e-fapping that shit? They would turn it into content for the next several months. There'd be memes about it. Yep. This is why it's important to not label yourself anything, especially if you're going to make a comic and you don't want to label yourself CG. Because if you label yourself something, what you do is you build expectations equal to the label. And what is Comicsgate's expectations? What is it known for? Late books, shitty customer service, drama, e-celeb worship. Yeah, if you label yourself Comicsgate, you build expectations equal to that. Who the fuck wants to be associated with that? Not me. Yeah, the one good thing about Comicsgate is it gave you a blueprint. You do the exact opposite of what they do. That's what I do. Instead of doing stale, fucking shitty, stagnant live streams, do entertaining live streams. Instead of putting your hand out like a fucking bum and taking money for a book you haven't done yet, do the book first. And once the book is done, then you can sell it to people when it's done. Follow the Eric July model, so to speak. Oh, ass cracker. Slap your nuts on the table. Yep. Fighting the culture war. Yeah, Comicsgate. Fighting the culture war. That was one of the things they built their movement on. Fighting the culture war. A lot of people have trouble trying to define fighting the culture war. Like, well, how do you fight war? How do you fight war? Well, you defeat your enemies. That's what you do. Yes. That's how you fight war. You defeat your enemies. Yes. That's how you fight war. So when you fight a culture war, that means you have to defeat your enemy, so to speak. But what defines defeat, so to speak? Making them go away. They just decide to completely divorce themselves from society the way I did, only they don't go on the internet either. Yeah, how do you define victory in the culture war? Well, first you got to figure out how you defeat individual SJWs within the culture war. A lot of people, they don't understand what is best in life. Big Daddy knows what is best in life. Do you know what is best in life? If you don't, I will tell you what is best in life. Listen very fucking carefully.
What is best in life? Crush your enemies. See them bleed right before your eyes. Feeling straight, please don't let me die. Lamentation of that women, feminism is a sin. Lamentation of that women.
Yeah, I was reading Kiwi Farms here recently, and Ethan Van Sciver, he had made a post talking about one of the reasons your boy Zach decided to divorce himself from the culture war and get off of Twitter and all that is because he was scared and worried about the mental frailty of these SJWs. He was scared that they were killing themselves because of him and videos that he was doing. This fucking guy, I forget what his name was, some SJW that he was making fun of, killed himself. So yeah, boy Zach went and deleted shitloads of his videos because he was scared that his videos would trigger these SJWs to start eating themselves. And I have to ask the question, if you are fighting a culture war, if you're fighting any war, period, one of the clearest ways you defeat your enemy is by killing them. Yes. So if you knew that your videos were powerful enough to trigger SJWs to yeet themselves, why? Why in the fuck would you delete those videos, and why would you stop going after them? Jesus fucking Christ. All it does is illustrate just how fucking limp dick and weak your boy Zach truly is. If you truly thought you had the power to make SJWs yeet themselves with your shitty YouTube videos, why would you scale things back? This is what I'm trying to say. You're supposed to be fighting a culture war. You're a fucking soldier, Zach. You're a fucking killer for hire, a Marine. And you're scared that your videos are causing SJWs to yeet themselves? This guy once said that SJWs were worse than terrorists. What the fuck? If you truly think that, Zach, then this is a dereliction of duty. My God. The fuck is wrong with you? Watching too much anal fisting gangbangs. Completely fucking rotted his fucking brain. He has no will to fight left within him. That's what happens when you become Mr. Biggins' basement gimp. Let me bring out the Zach. Yeah, master. Zach comes out of Mr. Biggins' basement on a fucking leash. Yep. Yeah, boy, Zach. This is the guy who was the founder of Comicsgate. Fish stinks from the head down, as the saying goes. Yeah, Ludonus Ravenwolf has popped back onto the scene. Actually, no, he's called Ludonus Ravenwolf Dragonstorm now. Like, Big Daddy, this guy sounds badass. Who the fuck is Ludonus Ravenwolf Dragonstorm? Like, no, he's not that badass. This guy, he's the Fandom Menace historian. Like, the Fandom Menace historian. Oh, that guy. Yeah, you remember him. Most famous for his infamous wrestling style promo where he called out EVS. I can't even fucking do an impression of the guy. Oh my God. There are some people that even below me to do an impression of. And this is the Stephen Walton guy. But yeah, Ludonus Ravenwolf Dragonstorm. He's popped back onto the scene with a new YouTube channel. Now, anybody knows the lore that surrounds Ludonus Ravenwolf knows that he calls himself the Fandom Menace historian, but his main claim to fame was that he was cucked live on a live stream by this bitch, like Ashley Lynn something. I mean, you talk about a bitch that looks like Nerdette's fucking docs with look at Nerdette's fucking mugshot. That's what this Ashley Lynn bitch looks like. But yeah, Ludonus Ravenwolf, he got cucked live by this fucking bitch, and talking about how he's got a limp dick and shit like that, how she had to go fuck some other dude, and how Ludonus Ravenwolf was paying her rent and paying for her kid and all this shit. And just made him look like a total cuck. But anyway, Ludonus Ravenwolf, he's come back onto the scene with a new channel called Ludonus Ravenwolf Dragonstorm. And the whole channel revolves around him trying to cope with this fucking bitch that cucked him out. That's what the whole channel is about. Like he's basically in purple pill territory. Like he's the most blue pilled as fuck, but he's just been introduced with a situation in life that's going to eventually push him to the red pill. Like you can tell he doesn't know what the red pill is, but he's eventually going to get there. But yeah, his whole channel is it's basically a massive cope channel about how this bitch cucked him. Yeah, one of his videos is talking about never give away your sexual energies to somebody negative. It was just real cringe shit. I mean, and if this guy was more famous, you talk about somebody destined for a fucking thread. Yeah, but the only thing is the guy nobody really knows who the fuck he is. Yeah, Lodonus Ravenwolf. Yeah, if you want to see some real fucking cringe, fucking lol cow shit, go look up his YouTube page. Lodonus Dragonstorm. Yeah, I think you can add it like a YouTube at Dragonstorm. Some real lolsy stuff. This is what happens when you become a cuck. Yeah, I didn't see the video yet. In a new video, Richard C. Meyer said DC Marvel need to give quality comics for free to real stores to give out to good customers. EVS hated the idea, talked about it a lot. Was that an actual Richard C. Meyer idea? That Marvel and DC should give away comics? Like, what is he, like a communist now? Has Richard gone full commie? Jesus Christ. I know the guy was stupid. Fuck. Cecil came on, said the wall is coming for Anna. Well, yeah, he knows. Anybody with a brain cell and fucking and who doesn't have cataracts can see it. The wall is coming. She may fucking very well Kool-Aid Man that shit. Hell, she could double Kool-Aid Man that motherfucker. Oh no. Yeah, she will end up using photo and video apps, just like Nerdette News 10, just like Saggy Melons. Yeah, she's better start her fucking OnlyFans while she still has some semblance of her looks left, or else she's gonna have to skip the OnlyFans and go straight to Pornhub. Yeah, the thing about ESOM, I remember the fucking one of the benchmarks, if he hit certain benchmarks with the funding, was that he was going to keep on the art team from the original ESOM for part 2, which means Gabe LTAbe's coming back for the colors. Like, motherfucker, you made like millions of dollars. You could hire a much better art team. I think he fucked up by doing that. That was a big strategic fuck up by Eric July by promising his fans that. Yeah. Some movies, the main, well, let's just say when it comes to movies, I'm a fan of happy endings. Like, to me, it's not a good movie unless it has a happy ending. And the funny part is, a lot of these Asian movies, like Chinese movies, Japanese movies, almost all of them, like the hardcore action movies, especially the old ones, they don't have happy endings. It's because of the way their culture is. Like old Shaw Brothers kung fu movies made in China way back in the day, rarely ever will you have a happy ending in one of those movies. Almost always the hero dies at the end. That's the difference between American culture and the culture of the rest of the world. We have hero culture. Our movies have happy endings. That's one of the things these globalists are trying to do. They're trying to knock America down to the level of the rest of the world. And I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I'm in the house. Welcome. Yeah, my talking points can get out there better on by posting them on the farms than by ranting and raving about them on YouTube. Yeah, Indiegogo is fucking shadow banning those motherfuckers all over the place. And EVS, he supposedly has a good relationship with Indiegogo. Like he can get on the phone with these fuckers. And I guess he did get on the phone with them and asked for an explanation. But I guess they just turned him over to their new comics division. And the comics division simply will not answer his phone calls or will not answer his emails or whatever. The same comics division of Indiegogo that recently decided to use an AI. At the end of the day, you watch. Vicky will this AI thing will end up being real. Like this is the reason why they're getting shadow banned, and they'll have to eat crow and admit it. Now, who am I kidding? They will never admit that Vicky was right. It's the way these fuckers are. I mean, there could be some saboteur out there turning them into Indiegogo and Indiegogo's striking them down. I mean, hell, all you gotta do is look at the comments section. A lot of these late ass campaigns, Indiegogo's like, fuck, we don't want this grift associated with our platform. All you gotta do is type in Comicsgate into Google to see what comes up first. And Comicsgate is a hate group. We don't want these fuckers associated with our platform. At some point, they're gonna wisen up. And like I said, this is the reason why you don't label yourself anything, because you build expectations equal to that label. And Comicsgate has been labeled a hate group, whether you like it or not, whether it's true or not. Like that's what it's been labeled. Yeah, speaking of the Comicsgate label and trademark and all that, I guess EVS he finally won the trademark from Preston Poulter. And this means anything that has the word CG on it or has been used to make money with the word Comicsgate is now subject to libel, which means John De La Rose's book Wrecked Manlet. Like if John De La Rose continues making the Wrecked Manlet book, I guess EBS could sue him if he wants to, because it was the first book to use the CG label or whatever. Now I've argued this in the past, like yeah, EVS used the CG label in commerce for his YouTube channel, for monetization and all that. But the person who used the CG label first in comics was technically John De La Rose with that Robotoad comic. So I wonder if John De La Rose truly decided to lawyer up and go full Lucien Dubois upon EVS, if John could actually wrest the fucking trademark just in the realm of comics. Like EVS, he owns the trademark for any sort of anything outside of the realm of comics. But any sort of anything comic book related, John owns the trademark on it because he technically was the first one to print a comic with that label on it. Like I'm not a legal man, a legal scholar, but I bet a very clever lawyer could make a case for something like that. And John, he's got millions of dollars. He's about the only one who could go toe to toe with EVS in the realm of lawfare. I mean, he basically said as much in a private DM to one of the Roylett brothers. Yeah, Thomas, he dropped the DM on Twitter. I guess John De La Rose and the Roylett brothers were friends back in the day and would DM. And John and they talked about the trademark and shit. And John basically dared EVS to try to sue him. Like, yeah. I was almost going to take screenshots of that and post it on the forums and ask John about that. John, what exactly did you mean by this? Like, is this your way of saying that, yeah, I hope he sues me because I've got enough money to actually go toe-to-toe with him in the realm of lawfare and bankrupt him? Yeah, anybody who knows about lawfare knows that the name of the game is who can bankrupt who first. Whoever has to sell their house first loses, basically. That's the name of the game in lawfare. That's how the legal system is in America. If you got enough money for the lawyers, you can fucking basically destroy people and get away with murder. Yeah. The Indiegogo yeeting them off all over the place. A lot of them have to go start their own platforms and shit like that to sell their merchandise through. Wilbur, Mandy Summers had to do that. I guess Shane Davis has had to do that too. He calls his company 9 Lives Comics or something fucking stupid, or 9 Lives. I think it's just 9 Lives. But now this motherfucker was selling hats on that fucking website for $55. $55 US. No, not pesos, dollars. For a fucking hat. And $75 for a fucking t-shirt. Jesus Christ, are they encrusted with jewels and diamonds or something? Are they flecked with gold dust? $55 for a hat. $75 for a fucking t-shirt. Jesus Christ. Lord, that's a lot of money. But one thing I've learned is never underestimate a CG pay pig. I mean, literally, these people are like, sweet. Like, you talk about pay pigs. Yeah, I guess Shane Davis is very confident in the CG pay pigs that they will actually pay $55 for a fucking hat, $75 for a fucking t-shirt. Jesus Christ. Yeah, Edwin Boyette, he was once part of that whole CG sphere. Then he left and became a member of the Hawaiian GOP and then brought disgrace upon the Hawaiian GOP by tweeting about QAnon. And then he kind of came back and was kind of lampooning CG here and there. Then he's been quiet for the most part for a long, long time. And I guess Edwin Boyette here recently, something happened in Hawaii, his home. It burnt down when Edwin was away, and it was real tragic. I guess there was some death involved, including like his father or father-in-law, something like that, and the dogs died. Whole house burnt up. Real tragic. And EVS, he posted the fucking news on the farms, talking about how Edwin is in his prayers. Like, yeah, I'm sure EVS is praying for Edwin. The only question is which god, Moloch or Baal? That's the only question. Yeah, I guess EVS was he fired up a live stream and was actually mocking Edwin, like showing like old war campaign memes and calling him Methwin and shit like that. Right after this tragic accident, it just goes to show. Fish stinks from the head down, as they say. That's the fucking titular head of the movement now. Now that your boy Zach's out of the picture. Your boy Zach, a fucking degenerate coomer, and EVS, Ethan Van Sciver, the type of guy that would mock a man after his fucking home burns down and his father-in-law and dogs die. Yep. Yeah, this is why you don't want to label yourself Comicsgate. Because you build expectations equal to the label, and you don't want to be associated with any of that, if you know what I mean. Yep. Golden rule. Do unto others as they would have do unto you. That's the key. The importance of simplicity. Not just of philosophy, but of life, you know. Food. You eat simple meals, then it makes the more flavorful meals that much more better, you know, once you finally eat them. Because if you eat lavish feasts all the time, then it takes away from the flavor of life, whether you understand it or not. You have a lavish feast every once in a while, it just adds the flavor of life that much more. The importance of simplicity, living at one with nature. Yep. Live life like a samurai. One way to live life like a samurai, the first thing you got to do is you got to kill your ego. Because once you kill your ego, then you know exactly what you're capable of doing. Once you get the ego out of the way, then you can grow as a person. You know what I mean? Yep. Yeah, Art Bell talked earlier about the marriage rate falling. Less than 7 men out of 1,000 are getting married nowadays. Yeah, there's an assault upon the family unit. It's being orchestrated by the social engineers. It's being allowed to promulgate and fester because weak men have allowed it. Yeah, these women are. I heard about this phenomenon. It's called the practice husband phenomenon. I don't know if you heard about this one, but most women, they see their first husbands as nothing more than practice husbands, knowing full well when they marry the guy that they're going to divorce him at some point. They know this at the back in the back of their mind. They've already made plans for it mentally. You marry the first one for money, the second one for love, as they say. This is why nobody's getting married anymore. Who the fuck wants to become a practice husband for some fucking wicked feminist wench? Another thing these women are doing that aren't taking up the alpha seed in their youth and becoming single mothers, the ones that want to wait and have families, they hit the wall and they have their families once they're post wall. Now there's many problems by doing this. Most the biggest problem being geriatric pregnancy, adding to the autism and all that shit. But one of the worst things when a woman decides to start a family after she's hit the wall is that only beta males will settle for her. And you don't want that weak beta seed being passed on. So what it ultimately does, it weakens the human race. It waters down the fucking human race is what it does. Yep. These poor men, they were, you see a lot of these stupid cunts, they have a Disney princess complex. But it's not just the women. A lot of these fucking dudes that were raised on Disney movies, they got this white knight complex. Yeah, men raised on Disney movies were taught to be chivalrous and shit. The only thing is, when you try to be chivalrous to the modern day Western feminist female, well, what they've mistaken chivalry for misogyny. That's what they've done, and feminism has poisoned their minds into believing that. Yep. Yeah, they say that that AI is going to ruin the world, and one of the things that they say it's ruining is dating apps. The AI is ruining dating apps. Nobody knows who's real anymore. Just imagine being on one of these dating apps trying to find somebody, and you're a bitch. Only problem is that you're too perfect. You're too perfect. So all the dudes think you're a bot, so they just completely ignore you. So a lot of these bitches are going to end up, alone because nobody will fucking interact with them because they think that they're a fucking bot, if such a woman exists. Yeah. Bottom line is people forgot how to live their life by the golden rule. Do unto others as they would have do unto you. They're trying to teach people to be mental and emotional masochists. Like, I hate myself and I love pain, so I'm gonna fucking do unto others as I would have do unto me. I'm trying to fucking darken the fucking soul of man. That's what they're trying to do. Fucking pieces of shit. Got to manifest our own realities by thinking positively. Keep on the sunny side, always on the sunny side. Keep on the sunny side of life, as the saying goes. Yeah, because if you put out negativity, think negative, then you're going to get back negativity. Try to become a white wizard. Try to manifest your own realities. That's what you got to do. Yep. Well, we've ranted and raved quite a bit. You know what? Maybe we'll close out the show. Yeah, live at one with nature. That's what you got to do. You don't got to go full Thoreau. You don't got to go full Big Daddy, but maybe take a walk out in the park every once in a while. Go touch grass, as the saying goes. Yeah, try to get in touch with your inner Disney character. Pretend like you're hanging out with Pocahontas.
Me and Pocahontas sitting by the brook. Life feels like a fairy tale in the storybook. We were laughing, living, loving, free. dancing in the fields of green. Pocahontas, Pocahontas and me. Me and Marlon Brando standing by the bush, telling me some stories about Hollywood. By the campfire, living, laughing free. Marlon Brando, Pocahontas and me. Marlon Brando, Pocahontas and me. Pocahontas, Pocahontas, Pocahontas and me. Somewhere on the desert highway, she rides a Harley Davidson. Long black hair flowing in the wind. She's all alone and lost upon a road of sin. Lord knows she's paid the cost, forsaken by fate and man. Now somewhere on a desert highway, she rides a Harley Davidson, alone and lost upon a road of sin. Feelings hit deep inside, romance still she rides. Long black hair flowing in the wind. There's somewhere on a desert highway, she rides a Harley Davidson. She is an unknown legend. She holds the keys to heaven. Long black hair flowing in the wind. Somewhere on the desert highway, she rides a Harley Davidson. Somewhere on the desert highway, she rides a Harley Davidson. Somewhere on the desert highway, she rides a Harley Davidson. She's got a smile that it seems to me reminds me of childhood memories, where everything was as fresh as the bright blue sky. Now every then when I see her face, she takes me away to that special place. If I stay too long, though I break down and cry. Oh, sweet child of mine. Oh, sweet love of mine. She's got eyes of the bluest skies, as if they thought of the rain. I hate to look into her eyes and see an ounce of pain. Her hair reminds me of a warm, safe place where as a child I'd hide and pray for thunder and the rain to quietly pass me by. Oh, sweet child of mine. Oh,
Oh, sweet love of mine. Where do we go now? Where do we go? Where do we go now? Wow, wow, where do we go? Where do we go now? Where do we go? Yeah, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? It's all the same shit, dog, just another day. Where do we go from here? Yeah, the fucking WEF people, those types. They would fucking take Big Daddy out in a drone strike if they had their way. They would put people like Big Daddy in fucking death camps. They would yeet people like Big Daddy, people like us, off of every form of social media if they could. These fucking pieces of shit. Yeah, they don't even look at people like Big Daddy. They don't look at people like us like we're human. People who think like I think, believe the things I believe. We're not even human to these people. Yeah, but the thing is, they think we're savages, but they are actually the savage ones. The ones who treat human life the way they do, they are actually the savage ones. Never forget that. We are the truly civilized ones. They are the savages. A lot of people think I'm an ignorant savage, though. You think that I am an ignorant savage? And you've been so many places, I guess it must be so. But still I cannot see if the savage one is me. How can there be so much that you don't know? You think you own whatever land you land on. You think the earth's a dead thing you can claim. But I know every rock and tree and creature has a life, has a spirit, has a name. Think the only people who are people are the people who look and think like you. But if you walk the footsteps of a stranger, you'll learn things you never knew, never knew. Have you ever heard the wolf cry to the newborn moon? Or ask the grinning bobcat why he grins? Can you sing with all the voices of the mountain? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? I've run the hidden pine trails of the forest. Come taste the sun-sweet berries of the earth. Come roll in all the riches all around you. And for once, never wonder what they're worth. The rainstorm and the river are my brothers. The heron and the otter are my friends. We are all connected to each other in a circle, in a hoop that never ends. How high does the sycamore grow? Cut it down, then you'll never know. And you'll never hear the wolf cry to the newborn moon, or ask the grinning bobcat why he grins. Sing with all the voices of the mountain. Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? You can own the earth and still all you'll own is earth until you can paint with all the colors of Thanks for coming out, y'all. Wasn't that D on I smoking them bowls? I just pegged me a fat green bun and I was smoking it all out with that China ice and the savoir faire. And the one in the whole universe could never compare. Oh yeah, I am yours now and you are mine, and together we'll laugh through all space and time. No, don't cry. Day, oh, daddy will die.